Here we are, back in the old, familiar Dark Souls 1. When accounting for the fact that Demon Souls was a remake, this is going to be the oldest game I play for this Sorcery Only challenge run comparison. Although this is the remaster. When did Dark Souls 2 come out? Doesn't matter. I'm curious to see how this game goes. I actually chose the spellcasting starter class when I first played Dark Souls 1 many years ago, but I ended up quitting because it was boring, at least initially. I'm curious to see how my memory of this holds up, particularly with the spell variety, which hasn't really improved since Demon Souls. But with that, let's get into it. This jail cell brings back so many memories. Nothing about Dark Souls, just a lot of memories in jail cells. Anyway, rush through the asylum to get the Estus flask and my staff, stomp the asylum demon, which is very easy. Magic in this game may lack variety, but it is still very strong. Casting speed is a bit on the slow side, and the tracking is a bit lacking. That's probably fine. Taurus Demon lacks magic resistance, which I appreciate. With him dead, I can free Griggs, which gives me my first spell merchant, which will be very useful to expand my arsenal. Unlike Demon Souls, you don't have an MP bar. You have a set number of castings based on the spells you prepare and how many packs of each. And the Gargoyle Demon is a bit trickier, but then I remembered to not use Heavy Soul Arrow, and instead use Great Soul Arrow, which is totally different from Heavy Great Soul Arrow. Yes, the spell name variety in this game is bad, to say nothing about how most of the spells are just the same spell with slightly different numbers. Wow, the Capra Demon is a pain in the butt. I mean, he's always a pain in the butt, but it's even worse with Sorcery Only. And the run back to him when you die is absolutely awful. Go away, dogs! Arrgh! I probably should have used Oral Decoy, which I believe affects the Capra Demon, or at least the dogs, but I am stubborn and absolutely willing to make the same mistake over and over again. These sewers really remind me of the winding tunnels in Demon Souls World 2. Giving Dragon is boring. He's durable, but very slow and very predictable. Oh, goodbye, rat. Goodbye on your journey. Blighttown sucks for all the reasons Blighttown normally sucks. Except now, I have limited spells, which don't deal that much damage, and that track enemies like absolute shit. Come on, Soul Arrow, are you aware that dog is even there? I'm just gonna rush it. Huh, that ended up being easier than I'd expected. Leg's easy enough. They really didn't do much to tune these enemies for range damage. Back to Firelink Shrine, and I forgot to kill Golden Boy, so the Firekeeper's dead. Crap. Whatever, I'll get the Fap Ring from you later. Buy the magic boosting rings from Griggs. Didn't grab the ring that lets you walk in water, that's probably fine. Asylum Demon 2 is a pain. He has high magic resistance and deceptive AoE hitboxes. That booty do be poppin' though. Next, I head into Deeproot. I discover here, to my delight, that I can actually one-shot these statues with spells. Nice. The Moonlight Butterfly ends up being comically easy. With it being a flying magic butterfly, I expected spell tracking and damage to be an issue. They are not, and it dies incredibly quickly. A refreshing change of pace. Ugh, why do spells not have enough range to hit this stupid Hydra? I rang both bells of awakening a while ago, so Sens House of Fun is open to me. It's about as much pain as always, though. Magic helps in some places, letting me snipe unsuspecting enemies, but the damage and combo potential are lacking, and help less than I'd hoped. Boss ends up being super easy though. Again, none of the bosses in this game seem tuned to punish ranged players. With Sens Funhouse vanquished, we take the Demon Express straight to scenic Anor Londo. Ah, the land of the gods. This place is always annoying. These statues have 100% magic resistant shields. Should have lent one to Estrea's boyfriend. Then the archer walk up. You're supposed to be able to run up to one archer, lure him back, and then he'll fall and die, but I am unpracticed in this tactic, and getting through here takes a few attempts as usual. Then we reach Orny and Smoo, and yes, that is what I call them, take a few tries. Fortunately, the run-up is pretty quick thanks to this jump skip. I then discovered that Orny has lower magic resist, so I take him out first, then move on to his friend? Roommate? Are Orny and Smoo dating? Or were they dating? Get the Lordvessel from a pair of grapefruits, now I can work. I hop back to Firelink Shrine to talk to Big Hat Logan, who I rescued from Sen's Fortress. Yay, more sorceries. Next, into the drowned city of New Londo. I initially don't grab any transient curses to hurt the ghosts. This goes about as well as can be expected, which is to say very, very badly. Then I go back, grab some transient curses, and head through the entire area before getting to the end, and remembering, whoops, I need Artorias' ring. This is what I get for not looking anything up, and also not remembering anything. Ever. So it's time to go back to Darkroot and kill Seath, which as usual is not a particularly difficult fight. She does jump around enough that spell tracking becomes an issue, but I'm way past the point of this being an actual challenge. Back to New Londo, and I try fighting the Four Kings, but it does not go well. See, the Four Kings are a DPS check. Because the kings spawn at preset intervals, you need to be able to kill one before the next spawns, and I just can't. Part of it is that I'm a bit underleveled, part of it is because I don't have access to the best spells yet. I can resolve both of these issues in the Duke's Archives. This area ends up being the worst in the game. First, all the enemies here are highly resistant to magic damage. the only type of damage I can deal. Second, they are small enough that they can dodge my attacks. And by dodge, I of course mean just exist in a space and trust my poor spell tracking to miss them. Which, of course, works. I do have to briefly break the Sorcery Only rules. Once Seath kills you and you end up in the cell, the only way out is to bash this guard with a weapon. No spell in the game can damage him, and bonking him with my staff is literally the only option. I then spend entirely too long running around, getting stuck, and dying, because these enemies aren't worth fighting, and I have no idea where I'm going. I finally sort myself out and get through the area, rushing ahead to the Crystal Caves. I also don't remember how to get through here and repeatedly die. Get a key, free Logan again, and buy some new spells. Finally, I am face to face with the big magic dragon, with his big magic resistance, which is, to be fair, pretty formidable, but his attacks are not, and I slowly chip away at his HP until he dies. Buying everything from Logan drives the poor bastard mad, which is great, because now I get to kill him for his hat and staff. Hooray! New catalyst. Back to Quelaag's chambers, and I run into the lava to face Ceaseless Discharge, who's normally a piece of cake because of the easy way of killing him, except I got hit and died, and re-triggering his jump to his death is confusing? Google provides the answer, and I have to run all the way back to his dead sister's body and back to the entrance. What a pain. Fire Sage Demon is a jerk and keeps killing me immediately upon entering the area. Put your poppin' booty away. I'm no longer entertained. Centipede is easy as usual. My favorite area of the game. Janky lava and dragon butts. Why are there so many obvious butts in this game? Bed of Chaos sucks, but in the usual way. Sorcery Only doesn't help or hinder this nonsense. Only one Lord Soul remaining, and it belongs to Funtime Skeleton Nito. Not being able to use a holy weapon to kill all these skeletons here is a pain. Pinwheel is the same joke as always. Aren't there two bonfires down here somewhere? Where am I? Nito does the job of managing his minions for me, as he usually does, and I appreciate this. To death. Oh right, 4 kings. The additional levels I've gotten combined with Mad Wizard Logan's spells mean I can freely match the DPS race to kill the 4-ish kings. With 4 Lord Souls in my Lordvessel, only one path remains that I care about. I drop the Lord Souls into the kiln, rush past all the knights I don't have the patience to fight, and I am brought face to face with Lord Gwyn, Lord of being set on fire, which is actually more difficult than I expected, which is a fun surprise. Gwyn's normally a joke. He can be blocked, parried, and his moves are very, very predictable. But he is aggressive? With the time it takes to cast spells, I actually have to work to find openings in his moveset. Takes a bit of finagling and running and getting punched in the face, but Gwyn goes down. That was actually more difficult than I'd expected. Dark Souls feels like spellcasting was a tacked on afterthought, from enemies not knowing how to deal with it to how slow and cumbersome it is to use. But that's one more game down, and I'll move on to the next game next Friday. Dark Souls 2. Seriously, look at them cheeks. I see you, Asylum Demon.